can hear us clearly. At the end, there's going to be a question period. So of course, if you have any questions, make sure you write them down so you don't forget, and I'll be happy to answer those at the end. So just before we get started, just to share a little bit about myself. So as I mentioned, I'm a group tour coordinator at Journeys by CAA Niagara. I have a strong passion for traveling. It developed on really early in my professional and personal careers. I visited 22 countries and 5 continents, and I had the great opportunities of being able to study abroad in France. And also I participated in a research trip to Uganda, Africa. So all those destinations are great, but you know, you don't have to travel far to find amazing places right in Ontario, and you can explore your own backyard and all the amazing places that we have. So Emily Carr, and she was part of the group of 7 painters. She was inspired by the Canadian landscape, and many of her paintings depict natural features of the Canadian environment. So I just want to share a quick video from Destination Ontario to remind us of all the wonderful places that is just right here in Ontario. Every time I watch that video, it just makes me feel like I have such a sense of pride and Canadian, and especially in Ontario. So for today's presentation, I have broken down Ontario's destination, kind of within driving regions from Niagara. So first, we're going to start with 1 to 2 hour drives from Niagara. So they're half-day trip suggestions, destinations if you're looking for a short but kind of interesting day out. Then we're going to move on a little further, 2 to 4 hour drives outside of the Niagara region, so kind of fuller. Full days outside of the GTA. And then finally, we're going to end with 4+ hours, so, you know, overnight or weekend suggestion trips. For the presentation today, you know, I hope everyone can at least find one new destination maybe they didn't know about, or it will inspire you to go there in the future. You know, I would suggest always to make sure you're double checking with the destination and attractions website to get the full details on their operating hours and their procedures. So to start off, we have our 1 to 2 hour drive. So do we have any guesses of kind of where these destinations might be? Maybe you visited there before or heard about them. Definitely type your guesses in the chat. And Annie can let us know if anyone knows them correctly, or maybe if you've been there. It's a smaller group too, so if you want to unmute yourself and share, that's definitely an option too.
Is one the Daviddumlap Observatory?
Yes, that's a wonderful guess. That is correct. So we'll be talking about that in the later slide. Fantastic. Does anyone have a guess on the top right?
It's up in Caledon, right?
It's very, yes, very close. Fantastic. We have an expert on line with us today. Thank you. So I'll be going through both of these in more detail. So we are going to start with the Grand River Cruise and the Grand River Powwow. So this is in Caledon, and with the Grand River, they do offer dinner cruises in the country of Brant. So it's about 30 minutes south of Hamilton, and the company sails 3 boats all season. So on their boats, each of the tables are arranged along the window to give everyone a great view of the scenery, and they offer 3-course lunch and dinner options. So it's a great relaxing afternoon out, and the boats you can see in the picture there are also fully enclosed, so it's great for rain or shine. You also have an informative captain the entire time who narrates the cruise and provides facts. While you're on the cruise going down the Grand River, you also pass by the Grand River Powwow, where the site where the Grand River Powwow was held. So it is organized on behalf of the 6 Nations, and this Aboriginal multicultural event is held annually the 4th weekend in July. They hold the event to promote their rich arts heritage by showcasing pride in music, dance, arts, and crafts. The next attraction that I want to bring attention to is Famous People Players. So this is a dine and dream theater in Toronto, so just outside Toronto in Etobicoke, and it's a non-for-profit organization that employs people with physical and intellectual disabilities. So for those individuals, their duties are shared in dining room management, art administration, and visual arts performances. So since the inception of Famous People Players, of when it started, it does pay homage to the works of famous people, hence the name. It is a black light performance, so you can kind of get that from the bottom picture. And history is very vast. So they actually started opening acts in Las Vegas for 10 years. One of their productions was also part of the reopening of Radio City Music Hall in New York. And then they also did 2 Broadway shows, and they've traveled globally. They've been to China, Singapore, and all throughout the United States. Their Dine and Dream Theater in Toronto was sponsored by actor Paul Newman. So for this theater, you can see there that the tables, you'll almost have your meal, and then followed by the show. It's kind of all at one place, so it's kind of nice and easy. You don't have to drive to 2 different places for your meal and the show. So this was one of the pictures that I'd shown. So this is the Cheltenham Badlands. So Badlands areas in Ontario are pretty rare, and this is one of the great examples. So it is located just north of Brampton in Caledon. Currently and now, physical access to walking on top of the Badlands is no longer available, just as it leads to the erosion, and they want to conserve the area as much as possible. However, there's an accessible boardwalk for viewing. So the reddish hue of the rock is from the Queenston Shale, and that's formed from the iron oxidizing. So if you enjoy hiking or being outside, this is a great option as well. Moving over closer to Cambridge is the Toyota manufacturing plant. A lot of people know that the plant is there, but what a lot of people don't know is they actually provide tours and an inside look into the operations. So at the plant, they do have a visitor center, and at the visitor center, they have trained guides that communicate directly to you through an audio headset as you travel on a motorized tram into the action. So on the tour, it's approximately 75 minutes, and then you start at the visitor center. And the tour brings you through the South Weld and North Assembly plants of the Toyota. So it's 2 of the most visually impressive shops in Cambridge. You get to see their award-winning production and quality control systems. And there is one of the largest stamping presses in the world. So it's a really interesting and safe way to visit and see kind of the inside look. It's incredible to see their large machinery. and all the robots that support the employees working in the assembly. They have automated robots that follow a track on the floor. So sometimes the tram even has to stop for these robots crossing at the different crosswalks. So it's definitely really interesting and something not many people know that the plant offers. So I did want to highlight a couple other theaters as well. The first one is the Walters Family Dinner Theater. So this is just off Highway 401. And the Walters Family Dinner Theater, you can enjoy a delicious meal and a fantastic show at the same time. What makes this theater special is that it is located in a barn theater setting. So you can kind of see that from the picture, the silo in the background and the barn behind it. The shows there are typically tribute shows of past musical groups such as ABBA, Johnny Cash, and rock and roll. The Walters family, the owners of the theater, are also musical artists as well, so they actually perform at their own barn and they do tributes as well. Typically, they go on at the beginning of the season and they actually have a larger holiday performance at the Sanderson Center in Brantford at the end of the season. So because the barn is because the theater, is located in a barn, the seasons run typically in the summer to early fall, so from May to September. I know one of my favorite things to do when I'm here is during the intermission of the show. You know, you can walk around the farm property. They have a lovely duck pond. There's some swing chairs, Muskoka chairs outside, and some benches. So on those nice summer days, it's great to be able to take in the scenery. And as I mentioned too with the Famous People Players, it's kind of a one-stop shop. You get your meal and your entertainment all at the same time, so you're not driving too far in between places. The other place I wanted to mention in theater is the Elgin and Winter Garden Theater. A lot of people are familiar with the Elgin when they're walking downtown Toronto, but the history and architecture kind of behind it is really interesting. So the Elgin and Winter Garden Theater are actually a pair of stacked theaters, so one on top of the other. They're the last operating double-decker theater in the world. So that's pretty exciting to have that in Toronto. So the dome ceiling of the Elgin Theater, which is on the bottom, is actually suspended from the floor of the Winter Garden Theater, 7 stories above. So you can imagine how heavy and the architecture to have that put in place. The decoration of the garden is completely different from the Elgin. So it has whimsical rooftop garden atmospheres with murals of roses, morning glories, and climbing ivy to cover the walls. The trunks and the columns are actually supposed to be depicted as tree trunks. And the ceiling there you can see has over lanterns and over 5,000 beech trees. So it's very beautiful and the restoration took quite a long time. So it does actually offer round-year tours of the historic site. They're about an hour and a half, and they will bring you through the Winter Garden and recount the history and the restoration of the complex during the tour. The next place, we're in the 1 to 2 hour range, so lots of options I wanted to provide everyone, is Castle Kilbride. So this is located in Badin. A small castle, but a castle nonetheless. So Castle Kilbride is a grand Victorian home, and it was built in 1877 for James Livingston. He was a flax industrialist, politician, and entrepreneur. Now part of the municipal town building of Wilmot, the castle provides tours, high teas, and features events and exhibits throughout the year. So I did want to give some more in-depth information. So I have a wonderful video that explains the history of Castle Kilbride.
Welcome to the jewel of Wilmot Township, Castle Kilbride. This magnificent home was built in 1877 by entrepreneur entrepreneur James Livingston. To truly appreciate the tale of this incredible National Historic Site, join us by stepping back in time to the lavish Victorian era as we follow the history of this beautiful home and the family that lived here. James Livingston was born in East Kilbride, Scotland. At the age of 17, James and his older brother John left Scotland to seek their fortunes in Canada. In 1864, James and his brother John established the firm J&J Livingston Linseed Oil Company. Their slogan was, "The kind your grandfather used." By 1867, the J&J Livingston Linseed Oil Company was operating a flax mill in Badin. In the early 1900s, linseed oil was a thriving industry and a valuable commodity due to its versatility. This industry promoted the growth of Badin and eventually gave work to women in the village. Much of the flax used in the mill was grown on the Livingston farm. Over time, and with true entrepreneurial zeal, the Livingston brothers expanded their flax empire with dozens of mills across Ontario. Under James's direction, the business continued to grow, giving James the title of the Flax and Oil King of Canada. In 1876, James purchased all of Lot 15 north of Schneider's Road in Badin from Christian Wagler. The following year, James hired local architect David Gingrich, and construction began on a magnificent 10,000 square foot triple brick Italianate home named Castle Kilbride, after James's birthplace in East Kilbride, Scotland. No expense was spared when he built his castle, with exquisite taste and impeccable interior decorating. James hired Henry Scharstein, a local German painter. Scharstein used the trompe-l'oeil artistic style to grace the ceilings and walls throughout the castle. Trompe-l'oeil is a French term that means to fool the eye or trickery of the eye. This technique is highly regarded and considered one of the most accomplished styles of painting. The artist challenges the viewer to question if what they see is real or not. The Livingston era came to a close on June 18, 1988, at a 3-day auction that drew 5,500 visitors to view over a century of exquisite furniture, toys, china, paintings, and more. The developer, who purchased Castle Kilbride, had a grand vision to restore the property, but the work came to a standstill, and Castle Kilbride began to deteriorate rapidly. Local concern for the castle's preservation led the township of Wilmot to purchase the property in 1993. A new municipal administration complex would be linked to the north of the Victorian home. The home would be restored to its historical character and become a community museum. To restore the detailed ceiling and wall paintings required hundreds of hours of painstaking conservation work to salvage peeling paint and see the home return to its former glory. Today, Castle Kilbride is proud to maintain the large percentage of original artifacts and archival material that were once thought lost to auction. We invite you to step back in time to the lavish Victorian era and enjoy the house that Flax built. Welcome to Castle Kilbride.
Yeah, so a great video that explains the in-depth history about Castle Kilbride. And, you know, it is a smaller place in Badin, but nonetheless, a lot of history and interesting things there. And as I mentioned, they do a high tea at the castle. They offer tours where people are in period costumes, and you can go to each room and they'll let you know the history. And they also do events and exhibits there, of course. So moving on to our last one within the 1 to 2 hour range is Canada's largest telescope. So someone had guessed it previously, and it is located at the Daviddumlap Observatory. So it is an astronomical observatory site just north of Toronto. It was formerly owned and operated by the University of Toronto between 1935 until 2008, at which the observatory is now owned and operated by the City of Richmond Hill, which provides a combination of heritage protection and unique recreation activities. So the primary instrument on the telescope is a 74-inch reflector telescope, so you can kind of see it in that top picture. At one time, it was the second largest telescope in the world, but as of today, it is still the largest in Canada. So when you go on a tour there is a couple steps to get up to the second level where you can view through the telescope, but you're able to view it. It has also been the site for a number of movie shoots and TV shows. The Umbrella Academy on Netflix did a movie shoot there. So it is featured still, and it's interesting to know it's the largest one in Canada, just right close in Richmond Hill. So we're moving on to our 2 to 4 hour drive destinations from the Niagara region. And I have 2 pictures here. And if anyone has any of the guesses of where these pictures may be from, again, you can put them in the chat and Annie can let us know.
Just unmute yourself too. So somebody has said Bala Cranberry.
Yes, great guess. Yes. One of Canada's native fruits. And the bottom one is tricky. I put that in to throw us off. So I'll get back to the one in the bottom and where it's from, because it's not in Niagara. So the first one, yes, is Muskoka Lakes and Farm and Winery. So for 3 generations, the Johnson family has been growing cranberries in Muskoka, specifically in Bala. Cranberries are a native fruit to Canada, and the town of Bala is now known as the cranberry capital of Ontario. So the farm is a local food plus, which means it's certified for sustainable growing practices. They grow 27 acres of cranberries on 350-acre farm. I know I've been to the Cranberry Festival in Bala that happens in the fall, and Bala is bustling with everything from cranberries, and the winery is also busy as well. So they've definitely expanded from cranberries to making wines and ciders. So while you're at the farm, you are able to take a short guided wagon ride to learn about the production of the cranberries. They also have a signature Canadian experience, which is called Bog to Bottle. And pretty much it takes you your in life of a cranberry from all the way to the bog to the processing and how it ends up in the bottle. Even in the winter, they have a skating trail that runs on the outside of the bog. So even in winter, it's an all-season destination. And of course, I can't forget to mention the wonderful gift shop. I know when we take our groups there, we maybe spend just as much time in the gift shop as we do on the outside, as they have everything cranberries you can imagine. Soap, wine, ciders, candles, chocolate cranberries, you name it, they have a cranberry version of it there. And it's a all-season destination, as I mentioned. So the second picture that was shown did show Peller Estates, which is in Niagara. However, ice culture makes the ice lounge. So ice culture has been around for 30 years, and it's a major player in the world ice carving stage. So more than 25 countries have used this company's product, and more than 50 companies have acquired specialized machinery and equipment from them to be able to build these amazing ice sculptures and lounges. So at Ice Culture, they offer guided tours. We're able to see the processes and hear the stories behind the projects and learn how they've earned their international reputation. So you can learn how they make their 300-pound crystal ice blocks. You can watch the carvers and technicians work, understand more of the technology involved in the ice business, and also walk through their freezer showroom. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, it's not that cold. It's only kept at a -8 degrees Celsius. So make sure on your tour, you bring your hat and your coat, and you're okay for that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, if you don't mind just writing your question down, and we'll answer the questions at the end.
Okay, hot dog, thank you.
Thank you. So staying in the back up to the Muskoka region, we do have the Muskoka Steamships and Discovery Center, which is located in Gravenhurst. So they do feature the steamship sightseeing and dinner cruises on board the historic Seguin and Winona too. The Muskoka Steamship heritage is actually older than Canada itself. The first ships sailed in Lake Muskoka in 1866. So just in 2017, they marked the amazing Seguin's 130th year anniversary. So the Seguin is actually North America's oldest operating steamship. And the Winona 2 is a new modern interpretation of the old ship. And that was a ship that first sailed on Lake Muskoka. So on these steamship cruises, they do offer a lunch or dinner options. Through the cruise, you get to see the landscape as well as the grand, wonderful houses and cottages located on the lake. And of course, hear the history of the area through a narration by the captain who's on ship. In the same area in Gravenhurst there where the steamship is located, it also features their Discovery Museum. It has a boardwalk as well as lots of shops and restaurants at the lakefront. In the summer, I've been to one of their many festivals, their craft show. They also have car shows there, and that all happens down at the wharf where the Muskoka Steamship is. So definitely able to fill a full day with the cruise, Discovery Center, and then the surrounding wharf. And then the last one within our 2 to 4 hour range is Blue Mountain, and that's located in Collingwood. So Blue Mountain is Ontario's largest village resort. It's on the shores of Georgian Bay and spans across the Niagara Escarpment. It is Ontario's only year-round mountain resort, so you can enjoy activities all season of skiing, golfing, there's spas, and lots of dining options. So the Collingwood and Blue Mountain area has something for everyone. It's family friendly, as well as the village itself is also dog friendly. So make sure you bring the whole family. Don't forget anyone at home. And just outside this area is the Scenic Caves attraction. So the Scenic Caves features a 420 feet long suspension footbridge and is Southern Ontario's largest, providing the best views, of course. You have a full 360 degrees of Georgian Bay and beyond. They have so many activities there. There's a short video I want to share with you to show kind of everything that they have going on. We don't want to watch that one again. So Blue Mountain, as I was saying, you know, family-friendly destination, tons of activities always going on, and a four-season resort. So any season in Ontario is great to go. Heading into our last destination segment, we have our 4+ hour drives from the Niagara region. So these places are definitely somewhere that you're going to want to stay overnight or go away for a weekend, just as they are a little further. So we have our 2 pictures here. Does anyone have any guesses of the top bridge photo and where possibly that might be in Ontario?
Somebody said Perry Sound.
Perry Sound's a great guess. It's not Perry Sound, but very close.
No other guesses.
And what about the bottom one? I know this one tripped me up, but it's a great add-on to any itinerary.
Somebody said Bob Cajun.
Not quite Bob Cajun. Yeah. Well, thank you for participating in those. I did put a couple ones in here to purposely stump some people.
Somebody said Manitoulin.
Yes, fantastic. Great guess.
Yeah. And somebody else said Severn.
Yeah, so it's not Severn. It is Manitoulin Island. So it is the largest freshwater lake, and the bridge is actually a swing bridge that is on the island. So I'm actually quite fortunate that my sister lives in Manitoulin Island, so I've been able to visit a number of times. So the top 2 pictures are 2 of my personal photos from when I was there. So Manitoulin, it separates the larger part of Lake Huron from Georgian Bay. And as I mentioned, it's the largest freshwater island lake. For your adventure to Manitoulin Island, you know, it can start even before you get there. One of the ways you can travel to Manitoulin is by ferry on the Chichimon. So this is a ferry that starts in Tobermory and the Bruce Peninsula and then travels to Manitoulin Island. So the word Chichimon actually means big canoe in English. So that's a nice, interesting fact there. On the island, you can also get up close and personal with Bridal Veil Falls, which is the picture of the waterfall on the screen. So you can hike straight to the falls, and you can even go swimming underneath. In the fall when I was there, I was actually fortunate, had the opportunity to see the salmon run. So I was able to see them swim up the river to the base of the falls, which was really cool. You can get really close to the salmon. Even around Bridal Falls, there's a popular little chocolate shop, which is a great tourist stop when you're in the area. The other picture there is from the Cup and Saucer Trail. So it's pretty famous on Manitoulin Island, as you can get amazing views, and there's 70-meter high cliffs. So there's no gates around these cliffs, so I definitely did not go very close, but it's wonderful views. It's a more challenging hike, so I would just notion that as well. But it is amazing. And then finally, going back to the swing bridge, you know, take the ferry one way and drive across the swing bridge on your way back. So it was originally built for railway, but in 1940s it started using for public traffic. And the bridge spans between the North Channel, between mainland Ontario and Manitoulin Island. So in the summer, in the peak season, you do not want to be trying to cross the bridge at the top of the hour, so 1, 2, 3, because the swing bridge opens up to let any tall boats and sailboats and things go through. So when you come in those times, you do have to wait for the bridge to close back and go back to the road for you to safely cross. But it's a really interesting place. The next place in Ontario I want to highlight is Agua Canyon. So if you love train travel, this is a great opportunity to see Ontario's north. So the train does start in Sault Ste. Marie and heads into the Algoma area, and it travels 114 miles along the track. So the train itself, it features large viewing, of course, so you're able to clearly see outside, GPS triggered narration, and various dining options on board. The Agua Canyon is a shallow canyon, and it was created 1.2 billion years ago by faulting along the Canadian Shield. And then throughout the years, it's been enlarged by the erosion of the Agua River. So in the top photo there, you can see the picture of the train in the fall, and that's definitely one of the best times I would suggest to visit to see all that Canadian foliage that inspired the group of 7 artists way back when. So the leaves usually change, of course, in late September through early October. Sometimes it's hard to plan when the leaves will change, but it is a popular time to travel on the train, so I would definitely suggest to make reservations and to book early. So this was the other picture in the slides a couple back. So many of us have most likely traveled to the Ottawa area before, but this is a great add-on to that itinerary, going to the Diefenbunker Museum. So it is located just outside of Ottawa in Carp, and the Diefenbunker is a 4-story, 100,000 square foot underground bunker now turned into a museum. Originally, it was built to protect Canadian officials in the event of a nuclear war, and it was commissioned by Prime Minister John Diefenbunker in 1959 as part of his government's reaction to escalating tensions in the Cold War. So they do offer public tours that are available, as well as downloadable audio guides. So if you wanted to go through yourself and do a self-guide, you can download this in advance and go at your own pace. Currently, right now, on their website, they have a lot of great virtual tour experiences. You can experience right from the comfort of your own home. So if you wanted to go and explore tomorrow or learn something different, they have a lot of great virtual tours that you're able to watch from their website. Moving just into our final 2 to 4 hours from the Niagara region is Point Pelee National Park. So this is an outdoor lover's paradise. So whether you love to hike on trails, photograph the sunset, watch bird species during the migration, paddle a canoe, a picnic on a sandy beach, Point Pelee National Park has everything for every season. So some quick facts just about Point Pelee. It's Canada's 2nd smallest, but most ecologically diverse national park. It's home to more than 390 bird species and 70 species of trees. Some are at risk. And then it is also the tip of the southernmost point of the Canadian mainland. So because it's the most southern tip of the mainland, for a few days in autumn, Point Pelee is temporary home to thousands of migrating monarch butterflies. So it gives them a rest before they have to journey across Lake Erie. Their final destination being, of course, 3,000 miles or kilometers away in Mexico. But being the most southern point, they wait for ideal conditions on Point Pelee before they make that big trek across Lake Erie. So because it does have all the ecological diversity, Parks Canada staff and conservation partners are constantly in the park monitoring projects and restoration so they can keep this natural landscape healthy and support the ecosystem for the future. One of the most popular places that people visit there is also the Marsh Boardwalk, which you can see in the bottom there. So a flat surface, but the boardwalk also features 2 large towers that you're also able to climb for better views of the surrounding area. And that's just outside of Leamington, Ontario. And the final place I wanted to show and highlight is Flowerpot Island, and it's located just outside of Tobermory. And Tobermory is a harbor village on the Bruce Peninsula. The village also is right beside the Fathom 5 National Marine Park, which is home to Flowerpot Island, lighthouses, and multiple shipwreck dives that you're able to go and see. So there's many activities in this area, so that's why I suggested it more as a weekend trip. Of course, Flowerpot Island is famous for the natural flowerpot rock pillars. You can see those in the two pictures on the screen. Most visitors take a boat tour from the town of Tobermory and spend a half or full day on the island hiking the trails, viewing the scenery, or you can even go swimming around there as well. Staying in the same area as well as the nearby grottos. So this is a scenic cave containing a pool of blue water. The water, is crystal clear blue. It looks just like it's straight out of the Caribbean. If you closed your eyes and wished hard enough, it was a warm day, I bet you could think you were there. So the grotto is a really popular attraction during the summer months and on the long weekends. So parking space is limited and it fills up pretty quickly. So reservations for parking you can make online and in advance, and I would definitely suggest that to avoid any disappointment. But this area, of course, in Tobermory itself has some great fish and chips, has a wonderful kind of wharf and boardwalk that you're able to go, and of course Flowerpot Island and the marine wildlife. So that kind of sums up all of my suggested destinations and itineraries. I did want to provide some more background about the company I work for, Journeys by CAA Niagara, and kind of everything that we do. So CAA Niagara Tours, we started back in 1997 and we began offering day tours in Ontario. So just single day trips out of the Niagara region to different destinations. As we grew, we started adding more tours outside and overnight, so into New York and further into Ontario. In 2011, Tuxedo Tours of St. Catharines merged with CAA Niagara Tours, and we became CAA Tuxedo Tours. We also have our Solo Travelers program that was created. Our Solo Travelers program is for individuals in the Niagara region who maybe are on their own or their friends and family have different vacation times or traveling that have a passion for travel. So just because you're traveling on your own doesn't mean you can't travel at all. And we have a group of like-minded individuals. We get together throughout the years for different events to talk about travel, social events, and then of course our trips. And just recently, in November of 2020, we expanded our offerings, and CAA Tuxedo Tours expanded into Journeys, and Journeys offers 5 different distinct travel styles. So we've expanded from our Tuxedo Classic, so our tours people know and love, into a bunch of other categories, so adventure, sports, relaxation, and family. So I do have a little video that just kind of displays, oh, this next slide. So in 2019, I just want to share some quick stats. In 2019, we offered 110 day tours. We offered 29 multi-day tours. So those are tours, overnight tours, of course, in Ontario, across Canada, the America, and then into Europe and Australia. We go international as well. And in 2019, we moved 5,500 passengers through our tours. So we've definitely been doing this a long time and are expert in the trade and skill. So in 2022 will actually be our 25th anniversary. So we're pretty excited about that. Now, I have a little video just to share with you more about Journeys and what we're all about.
For nearly 25 years, CAA Niagara has operated CAA Tuxedo Tours, offering clients a safe and worry-free way of traveling. We began with 1- and 2-day trips in Ontario and have steadily grown to over 100 day tours and 24 multi-day tours a year. We have built our reputation on providing true white glove service on our unique itineraries, taking travelers throughout Canada, the United States, and into Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia.
Because all our tours include accommodation, excursion, meals, and transportation, as well as services of a CAA Niagara tour director, all our clients know that the details are all taken care of and they can simply relax and enjoy.
Our clients love our existing tours, but we know we need to grow and diversify as travelers' interests change. Journeys will allow us to do just that.
Our Journeys itineraries will offer our clients expanded options, including adventure travel, relaxation getaways, sports trips, and family vacations. We'll also be offering more solo-friendly itineraries for those who don't have a travel companion, but still want affordable pricing and the comfort of a group.
And to all of our existing Tuxedo Tours travelers, don't worry, we'll still be offering the classic trips you know and love.
Our goal with Journeys is to offer travel at great prices with unique experiences and provide options outside of the traditional group tour setting.
What many travelers don't realize is that you can take advantage of group pricing by traveling at the same time as others. But that doesn't mean you always have to have all the traditional elements of group travel, like a tour director or fully planned itineraries.
Our Journeys itineraries offer something for everyone. Whether you prefer the white glove treatment and pre-planned schedules of our classic tours, or the flexibility and additional free time of our family and adventure tours, we have a journey for you.
We're redefining group travel.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us for the journey of a lifetime.
Very nice.
That was great.
Yeah, so I do hope in the future, when travel is back and people are comfortable traveling again, that you do choose to join us. I want to take this time as well to let you know about some of our upcoming virtual presentations as well. Annie mentioned at the beginning, this is the start of the series, but there is a No Place Like Home Canada coming up with the Welland Library. So one is on Monday, February 8th at 6 p.m. And that is the French presentation. And then the following one is going to be on Tuesday, February 16th at 6 p.m. In English, and that one's going to be focusing on all of Canada compared to just Ontario today. The other one I wanted to bring up is our Journeys season preview. So it's myself and our team will go over all of our upcoming kind of tours that we have planned for the 2021 and 2022. It's a great time to plan and dream and see what kind of options are out there. There's 2 time slots. There's a 2 p.m. If you prefer to join in the afternoon, or a 6:30. While we're here as well, I do just want to quickly mention that although we are affiliated, associated with CAA Niagara, for our Journeys tours, they are open to all passengers and clients. So you don't necessarily have to be a CAA member to enjoy our wonderful tours. There are definitely some member benefits and different things on certain tours. However, they are open to everyone. So it's just some different ways you can reach out and connect with us. Of course, we have our online website where you can go for more additional information and tours. You can sign up for our electronic, e-news. So that'll be sent monthly to your email, and it'll have information on travel or upcoming presentations. Sometimes we're sending out things about virtual things that you can do at home right now. We have a lot of great blog posts to try to keep people engaged. Our phone or email, you can definitely give us a call or reach out to our email. And we also have our social media, so we're on Instagram as well as Facebook.
Okay.
So my information is on the slide here. It's just at the bottom for Erin Clarke. So that's my email and my telephone number. I want to thank everyone for attending and thank Annie and the Welland Library for giving this opportunity to speak with you this evening. I hope everyone was able to find one or more destinations that you didn't know about before or have inspired you to think about going there when the time is right. So I do want to open it up to any questions I would love to answer. So you can either type them in the chat and Annie can let me know, or you can definitely unmute yourself as well.
Erin, I just have a question. What happens if I am not available on February 16th? Will there be another opportunity to see it?
Yes, so if it's not, if you're not available in that time, that's no need to worry. I know we are recording these sessions. So the ones with the Welland Library will be posted on their YouTube channel online. And we're also recording our season preview as well. But so if you're not available, no problem. You can definitely find those online to watch on the Welland Library YouTube channel. I believe that's where Annie will post them.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, I have one question. It's about the ice cultures. Ice and I don't, Hensel, where is Hensel? I've never heard of
Yeah,
it.
so you wouldn't think it was a place where international ice sculptures are created, but it's kind of just outside of London,
Oh,
London, Ontario. Yeah, so it's I know it's an odd place to hold an international and a well-developed place where they offer tours and everything, but it's just outside of London.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, none of these trips are happening right now, obviously, right?
Correct, right. So of course this year has kind of, you know, been different and unprecedented for everyone. A lot of these places that we featured though, we have gone to in the past. And of course, when things allow us to do so again, we're definitely planning to do them in the future as well.
Hopefully that will be soon. Thank you very much for this evening.
Yes, thank you for joining.
Thank you, Erin. It was really informative.
Yes, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Do we have
Any
any
more questions for Erin?
I
don't know if someone was talking there.
forgot to pop up on video at the end.
We see what you look like.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, well, oh, sorry.
No, I was just seeing if anybody else had any more questions.
Well, my contact information there is on the bottom. Definitely please reach out. You know, I'd love to chat with you about any of our tour options or any of the questions you may have or think of that you have after the presentation ends. I know that always happens to me and I'm like, oh, I should have asked, and you don't remember until after. So make sure you jot down that information. And again, thanks so much, Annie and the Welland Library for asking us to speak this evening.
Yes, and thank you for coming. I think everybody's got some real great travel options for Ontario when everything gets opened up. And I know I definitely learned a lot. So thank you so much for hosting with us. And the next one is, like Erin said, on February 16th. So that's a Tuesday night as well at 6 o'clock. So both sessions will be recorded and uploaded to our website just under our YouTube channel. So even Erin's information will be on that as well if you didn't take down her phone number. So I guess that's it.
Thanks very much, Annie.
Okay, thanks for coming, Kathy. That was really well done, Erin. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stop recording.